saying? I said, you're brutal. How did you know?
Oh my goodness. That's
Evening,
a horrible way to
folks.
start.
Thanks for coming in.
But it's like,
I got you this time, did I know?
Nah.
I think I did get you this time. What was this then? She's brutal. No.
What? I don't know. I don't recall what you're talking about here.
Why did you just admit that I got you this time?
Oh, just before we get
collective
started.
memory.
Just before we get started, I was actually meant to say before you went live, Scott, what your comment when I said your heat? Because I said insinuating, right?
Aye.
And your reply was, what was your reply? It wasn't insinuating.
Insulating.
Insulating. And I went, your heat.
Totally didn't get that. Anyway, good evening, folks. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
Just ignore Rigga because I don't know what balls he's talking. Oh, I said balls. Crap he's talking. But anyway, tonight I am joined by the small chap below me, Craig, one of ours. And you'll know this beefeater next to me. You know, he's been on enough times. The mighty Rigga. Was that impressive enough?
I liked how you pronounced the mighty.
I tried to emphasise it. Mighty Rigga.
Mighty.
And then that's how I lowered the voice after Rigga.
That was good. That was good.
Makes you sound medicine.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
When you're really a big
Makes him sound bigger than what he is. That's
Yes. Yes.
Aye. Well,
he's
that's
only a
very
small
true.
chap.
So tonight we don't have a subject, we don't have a topic, we don't have a clue what we're going to talk about, but we're going to be sitting here for maybe an hour and a bit, who knows. We might just sit and say nothing. Just stare at the cameras. With that. How boring would that be, but imagine you're on somebody's live and they're just sitting there like, see that screen froze there, did you see that?
Yeah.
No, Riggy, you're still twitching. You can't do it when my screen's frozen, but
I was holding my breath in.
you were holding your breath. Why were you holding your? We can't see you breathe.
That's
I don't know. I don't know.
There's a lovely Laura in, Craig's other half, who's sitting beside
he's just over there
you
somewhere.
watching. She has promised to behave.
Yep.
So tonight we're going to talk about really, guys, do we?
Let's talk about the F1.
Let's. Yes,
No.
indeed.
No.
Oh dear God.
Indeed.
No.
The clock is ticking down to Melbourne.
That clock can keep ticking away.
4 a.m. a week on Sunday.
Right.
Be in front of the TV because the lights go out in Melbourne.
Yeah.
As long as you enjoy it.
Sarah's getting
Yeah.
right into it. Sarah's right into it. She
As long
realises
as-
it's more than just cars going around a wee circuit. We are going
As long
to
as you
educate
enjoy it,
Laura.
Scott.
We are going to. Oh, I love it. I've been an F1 fan for, I don't know,
80 years.
or 20 years.
I thought it was
Yeah.
80.
My wife in now, I don't love it. I do, however, appreciate it more. That's nice. I like that. I do, however, appreciate it more.
See, I don't let them
It's
brainwash
nice
you.
to be appreciated. Yeah.
Don't worry, we shall convert you
No chance.
at one point or another. Anyway,
Yeah.
what's Spig been up to? What's been happening?
We've had relatively quite a slow start of the year. I say slow, we've done 4 investigations, so it's not really slow. But I've just been out and about, just the weather's, you know yourself, the weather's a bit, we were out, obviously we used 2 weeks ago, was it?
And what a blessed night that was.
Yeah.
It was.
That
But
was good.
the coldness, I think the coldness get the better of us, always. So again,
Yeah.
it's trying to get allocations, maybe got some sort of shelter or whatever.
Heated.
Aye, we're moving forward. Get some things put in the pipeline and that for this year. So
Really,
and then just whatever in between.
is it all hush hush, or can you share it?
Some of it's hush hush. The new.
Tell
I've
us the
come up
hush
with
hush stuff.
I've come up with a wee invention, but I'm not going to share this the now. But I will share it. I don't know how it's going to work, but it's quite exciting. I'll be honest with you, I was sleeping, right? And I woke up in the morning and it popped into my head. And see that way you're still sleeping, so you're like, and then I started kind of coming together, I had a coffee and stuff, and I was like, that's
You
quite
can't be still sleeping if you wake up, because if you wake up then you're not sleeping.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was kind of questioning myself, and obviously when I started coming together and waking properly up, properly waking up, I thought, well, that could actually work. But no, it's just trying to get. I'm going to try and speak to a few folk to see what they think. Electricians, I'll say that is all I'm saying. Further out.
So it's an electrical idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a question for you guys. Just when you mentioned sleep rigger, right? This is some of the crap that pops into my head every now and again.
Cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
No,
Bagels.
Aye, just to clear that matter up, actually, just as well you mentioned that. In the comments on Facebook, I did not call you. I did not say that it was a donut. I called you a donut.
Yes, but insinuating.
Where? I never insinuated anything about that being a donut.
Anyway,
it's a losing.
I'll tell you the reason why. I'll tell you the reason why it's a bagel, right? Because there's folk that go, "Oh, Zach Bagel." Also, because of my glasses and my hat. Zach Bagel. That's why
it's an uncanny resemblance, isn't it?
Yes, I know.
Every time I look at you, I see Zach.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
I've just been taken over by a demon.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you mentioned sleep, right? So this popped out in my head the other day, and I've been kind of dwelling on it since then, right? So, as far as we're aware, as we've seen many times, spirit has the same awareness of time as we have. Correct?
Do we know that?
Yeah.
Well, as far as we know, aye.
That's why I said as far as we know, keep up.
Yep.
Keep up. So I was thinking, see, have you ever had a dream, right? And you've maybe been in 2 or 3 places during your dream, maybe work, home, and a shop during this dream. But in the dream, this is going to sound really stupid, but it's coming from me, so don't be surprised. In the dream, there's no sense of time in the dream. I don't remember having a dream and say, I need to be there by 2:30 or, whatever. You just see me go from A, B to C.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So is that the same as, spirit?
Possible. But it's a good point. I can't really put my finger on in a dream when there's been time involved. Really? No.
I can't really think. I mean, I had a dream a couple of days ago, and it was like you said, Scott. It was just like one place and another place and another place, and the transitions seemed almost instantaneous. It's like you were kind of flicking between places. I kind of think it could be something like a little bit like that maybe they're not aware of time, but they're aware of flicking between places.
They're aware of
like
where they are.
Place. Yeah.
In the same sense, but as well, what makes it a bit more stranger is in your dreams there is time of the day. Like there's in your dreams there's night time. You know what I mean? There's morning.
Yeah.
There's sunsets, there's sunrises, but there's no actual any
But
like
you're not
an actual direct time.
Yeah.
So,
You know.
leading on to that, then, just what you're saying, Rigga, is, you know, there's daytime, nighttime, light and dark, everything. You get a spirit, say Loudon, for instance, right? Just, they ain't they be able to tell, oh, it's daytime or it's nighttime.
I don't know. There is that during investigations, that is kind of questions asked as well. You know what I mean? Are they able to, obviously, they know what time it is. We'll ask things like, what year did you pass away, and things like that. Is it night time? Is it daytime? Is it? Sometimes you go to a location. We'll use Loudon just because you used it. You might go there during the day and basically get nothing. You might get absolutely nothing, but you could go at night and then you could get activity. Is that the case? It's maybe different spirits are there during the day, or is it because it's dark? They feel, oh, I can communicate. They might not be able to see me. I don't know.
Or
I mean, maybe when you maybe when you pass over, it's kind of, you know, there's no such. You go to a place where there's no such thing as time. You know, where you just sort of like exist more or less in what could be construed the present. You know, and what you witness, you just sort of like witness what is happening, you know, at the present, or basically like that. And to you, it just seems like the present, and you're not aware, you know, of the time passing.
Which is a good point as well, Craig. But as Scott said, that leads on to the next bit. You know me, I don't shut up. My mind's starting to go on. I know. How come it's so? Obviously, they might be aware of time, and they might know. Why is it when Halloween comes round about, that's when most folks start going out and investigating because it's Halloween? If spirits can't tell the time, they'll not be able to know what day or date or whatever. Why do people go out on Halloween to investigate? Is it just a kind of more or less like a fear factor? Is it?
I think it's just basically because of the day, basically, that it is, and just, you know, it's nothing to do. The spooks don't have control of that day, but it's the people, you know, the people that do it at Halloween and everything like that. It's just because it's on a spooky day. It's on a day that's categorised as spooky. It's categorised as being, you know, for the spirits and everything like that.
Enhance the fear factor, essentially.
I'll stay a comment on that in a second, Laura. I think Halloween, you know, I don't think spirits realise, you know, but that brings you to another point, which I'll come back to in a wee second. Well, 2 points actually. But I mean, everybody associates Halloween with horror, with spirits, ghosts, you know, blood and guts, all the rest of it. I think that's why the majority of people think, right, well, we're going to go investigate Halloween because we're seeing all these films and all the rest of it, and Halloween stuff happens, so let's go. Spirit doesn't care.
Yeah.
Right. No, but that's what I mean. So there's big teams out there that obviously believe what us, but it's possible that spirits don't understand the time and stuff like that. So this is what these people might believe. But why would they go out at Halloween knowing that spirits, well, believing that spirits only be able to tell the time or the time of day or whatever? They know that, so they know there's no, whether you get more activity on Halloween. You could go to Loudon on Halloween and get absolutely loads. Does that mean that the spirits then understand that it is Halloween? It's just one of the things. It's the more you kind of start to believe and learn on your way, the more doors will open, and it just all goes back down into that confusing pit.
Well, you can go to yeah.
Well, you go. Better not interrupt your wife's comment, Craig. You will be flayed alive. That's because time is a human concept. Time tells us when to work, when to eat, when to sleep. animals don't rely on time. They hunt and they hunt when they want to eat, when they're hungry, sleep when tired. Time is a sort of human concept, but that's what we're saying. In a dream, you can be at A, B, and C, but you don't have a clue when you got there, or when you were meant to be there, or when you left, or whatever. But I mean, just go back to the Halloween thing. I think it's because everybody's brought up from when they're kids. Halloween's, as it says, is associated with ghosts and ghoulies and stuff like that. And so I think that's just the way people are programmed by society, that it's going to be spooky on Halloween.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. But then saying that, when we put the gifts at Loudon a couple of Christmases ago, when we went back and investigated, we asked the spirits what gifts did we leave at Christmas time, and we got intelligent responses. So that made me think, well, do they just remember the gifts, or do they remember the gifts and that it was Christmas time?
Yeah, they could have just been responding to the fact that what gifts did we leave, and not responding to the Christmas time. They're responding, what gifts did we leave? The Christmas time doesn't matter. It's about the gifts.
So the time thing, here's my other question for you, right? I think I told about this a couple of weeks ago. But you've got a man and wife, right? You're just a married couple, and the man passes away. And then the wife passes away 20 years later. So to the wife, that's 20 years since she lost her husband. But if spirit has no concept of time, for the husband, is it instantaneous? He passes and then his wife passes. Do you follow me?
I know what you're saying. It's a valid point. I'm on the fence. I'll be honest. I'm on the fence whether spirits know time and stuff like that, or whether they don't. I can't say that I believe they don't or I believe they do. I'm on the fence with it, just with certain experiences and certain questions that have been asked, and the feedback for possible spirits that we've got. I don't know. I'm on the fence with it, but I totally get what you mean with that question. It is an actual good question, and with the dream as well, with the time, because you go for A to B, and there's nothing in between. In your dream, you don't go like that. I need to go and catch the X22 bus at 3 minutes past 4 and be at bloody work for 5 o'clock. In your dream, time doesn't get mentioned right in your dream, but it could be the same.
So, maybe. Which leads me to another question.
I'd
Will and Catlin
rattling through them. We're rattling through them.
I'd Will and Catlin last night, Paranormal Exposures, and even Will was surprised that I had questions. Usually I just talk bollocks, basically. But I did have questions last night. What was my question? So time again.
Yeah.
So as Laura said, time is a human concept, right? So all spirit were people at one point, in the physical, and they probably lived by the clock. Someone probably lived by the clock. Agreed? Whatever jobs they might have done. They knew time and being for when to go somewhere, leave, sleep, whatever. Now, I've always said that when we put, I said not a wee person there, I did. Was that baby girl?
A wee spirit.
Having a wee earring issue. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Talk amongst yourselves.
What have you been up to, Craig?
But nothing much. Just I'm starting to get, as you know, I've been sort of not doing very much with the paranormal the last year or so, for the personal reasons that basically I've started to get back into it, just slowly starting with yourselves and Loudon, just last week. And I've also been thinking about various little history things that basically I'm interested in. I used to do kind of history hits and histories of Kilmarnock, where we are, and everything, and just kind of coming up with little sort of like posts or little videos like that,
Mhm.
a couple of sort of like uh, smart ideas and everything.
Mhm.
So it's interesting. I'm not quite got them sort of like all in order, but I am sort of like thinking of going down that route and just continuing down the kind of like the history side and
Mhm.
hopefully getting out and doing a bit more investigating, which will be
No, it's good. It's
absolutely
good. It's good to see you
fascinating.
getting back
Yeah,
out of it. No, it's
you
good.
know, yeah,
I'm
it's
back.
getting the
Sorry,
old
guys.
brain ticked over. Oh,
That's it.
he's back.
You'll get there. You'll get there.
Yeah, yeah,
We had an
yeah.
earring issue, which I'm need to fix after the show. Laura's saying,
They were lovely. Mhm.
I think it comes down to the fact how relevant is time to spirit to do with the energy. At certain times you try again. At certain times of the year, we as humans have a higher energy, Christmas, birthdays, and so they may not understand or need to understand the time concept when they pick up more energy from humans at these times. I think I know what she means. Talk about birthdays, it's my birthday next week. Not dropping anything,
Yeah.
it's just when she put birthday there.
You get your. Do
Yeah.
you get your bus pass then?
No, another few years to go before
Oh,
I get the bus pass. Aye, what was going to be my
Yeah.
question? Aye. So, as I was saying, when we're alive, we know we're well aware of time, and so
Mhm.
when we pass, I've always said that we take everything with us except our physical body. So would spirit know, or some spirits know, maybe think after they pass over, well, wait a minute, what happened to time? There isn't time here.
Yeah.
but
Does that make sense?
aye, but do
Yeah.
they? Once you pass away, there's no recollection, whatever word that is I'm looking for, or memory of time. You might have lost that. Or it's
Mhm.
just not a thing. But then on
I
the other
don't
side,
know.
you get really intelligent spirits that remember things. They remember their name, how they passed away, what year they passed away, things like that.
Yeah.
And remember things that's happened in their
Mhm.
life or history, stuff like that. So,
Mhm.
is it possible that they understand time? Because if they can understand all that sort of stuff, maybe they can understand time. Maybe
Yeah.
it's just that nobody's really got that bit of evidence to prove it. We just
You know,
believe it.
some
Yeah. Maybe they just. Yeah. Maybe they do have a kind of a sense of time. They just don't know how long it is. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it sounds stupid, but they obviously don't have watches up there or something like that. They just don't know how long it genuinely has been since
What
they
if?
passed. They passed. You know.
Sorry, Craig. Right.
Yeah.
So, what if you pass away? Right. I I pass away in here. Right. I'm gone. My
no,
spirit's
this
here.
show, too much paperwork. They wait till
No,
after the show died, snuff it. No, they
that
don't.
would never. Um.
You said
Yeah.
we need to drive all the way through
So
Glasgow.
so what I'm getting to is, so if I pass away in here, right, I've got a clock right up in the wall, like most folk. I
Yeah.
pass away. My spirit's
Yeah.
here. I'm sitting here, and I'm like, oh, I'm passed away. I can see you. And I look up at that clock. Am I able to look at that clock and say what time it is? Or am I just got to look at the clock and go, what is that?
I think you'd be able to look at the clock
I
and
don't know.
know what time it is.
But if
Just
you,
look at these. I'm going to stick these comments up to Laura first, and then
Yeah.
you're getting he hobby paid for a week. I know you did, dear. I know you did. I'm sorry that bestest bestie ever. At least I can spell ever.
Yeah.
Bestie ever. Aye. So you hear with these people that passed away, but they come back to life. And, and they say, well, when I passed away, I was standing there and I saw all you standing round my bed and I was kind of floating up. So if they can see family members or friends in the room, then I would imagine they'd be able to see the clock if they were wanting to look at the clock, that is.
Aye.
And they would
Yeah.
see.
If they're not able to if once you pass away and if you're not able to understand what time is, then if you look at a clock, surely you would not be able to tell what time that is.
Yeah,
Prices
maybe
over,
when.
yeah.
Yeah. That's
I don't know.
right.
As I said, I'm on the. We'll find out one time, but I'm on the fence for it.
Yeah.
Again, I've just not had enough proof for anything like that to say, oh, you don't get time, or well, that's audio, or just a direct response, or whatever. And I ask questions like that. Like, you know, it's like you're investigating. It goes relatively quiet, and then you're thinking of questions. So then that's when I start thinking deeper about questions. Like I'll ask. I remember I was investigating this team years ago, and it went dead quiet. And I'm sitting thinking, right, stop asking the same questions as everybody else. Just ask something maybe different. So I started asking things like hunger. You get the senses that you had. Like, can you smell? You know, can you? Is there a stage where you go, oh, I'm a bit peckish? I don't know. Just things like that, because we don't know. And I know some folk might go, that's a bit of a stupid question, but it's not, because we don't know. We do not know.
It's not real. I mean, I don't think that they're hungry because they don't have a physical body, but I think they would miss food. If you somebody, maybe a guy who loved his food.
But that's what I mean. So, like, if you say you're investigating, right? But somebody's out with having a fag or a vape, or for whatever reason they're holding a bloody Big Mac, right? And you know there's you believe there's possibly a spirit. Is that spirit able to smell that aura?
Yeah.
Or aroma, sorry, able to smell that aroma from the burger, from, you know, it's things like that.
Yeah.
Look at my smoking ghost at the power station. Mind that one?
I wasn't there.
Yeah.
You know, there's
yeah.
the power station cigarette, also Edinburgh Vaults, actually the can eliminate with spirit. Have you never been to the power station?
I did, but sure we went, but you couldn't come that night. It's the one with the big hole.
Aye. Well, there was one day I was there. Laura was there. I can't remember who else was there. I know Laura was there. And the boats, just as you go in the doorway, we were standing just up about maybe a dozen stairs or something. And I had a K2 meter. And we'd been up the stairs investigating. I don't think we got very much, but we were going to get down through the back and try in there. But we stopped on the stairs because somebody says that they had activity there before. And after the K2, down on the stairs, one of the steps, and I lit up a cig. And I don't know what made me ask, but I just says, you know, if there's any spirit here and they'd like a cigarette, can you make that box go to yellow? And the box lit up. The box went up to yellow. So I says, if you want a cigarette, can you make that box go yellow again? And the box went to yellow again and then died again. I says, right, I'm going to leave this. I'm going to take a cigarette and I'm going to leave it. So I put it down on the stair. I said, I'm going to leave this cigarette here for you. I said, no, if you want to say thank you, can you make that box go to yellow again for me? And the box went to yellow. Now, I couldn't explain that because the box was deep.
Yeah, it's
but
possible.
It went to yellow 3 times.
Yeah.
So
well,
I called it the smoking ghost.
Yeah.
Well, there's times, you know, yourself, you smell, depending where you are, you smell maybe the aroma of a perfume or some sort of aftershave or something. You smell maybe, I don't know, but you get certain smells. Sometimes you get cigar smells or fags, and we smell it. And if there's nobody smoking or anything like that, so wish to say that they can. It's just questions that I don't think a lot of people ask. So you just, and I mean, because all it takes is just that one. Although it might sound silly or too far fetched, but that one single question could get you possibly the best activity that you could get.
Yeah,
just with that one question.
The time that basically I used to work at the Grand Hall, and basically the old theatre in town. And there were a lot of tales of a lot of ghosts that sort of like went around. There were two guys that used to hang out in the auditorium of the Grand Hall, two old gentlemen. Then, but one of the ghosts that we had was a person called what we called the Lavender Lady, and this is like stories of her have been going back like decades. We don't really know who or what she is. We suspect she's an actress or something like that. But if you went down into the dressing rooms, basically, um, any time of day, show or no show or anything like that, or after show, there was in one of the dressing rooms there was a very, very heavy smell of lavender. Like really sort of like just kind of like you walk in and immediately kind of like clock it, and nobody had been in those dressing rooms for hours or ages. You know, even with a window open, you would smell, you know, the kind of lavender, and there's no lavender near where the theatre is or anything. It's just kind of like this wafting smell. And over the decades, I think it was first reported in the 1940s, 1950s, basically. And, you know, even at that way back then, there were tales of this lavender scented, what we presume was a lady, you know, sort of like person or scent that just wafted through from one sort of like dressing room to the other. Even when I was there about sort of like 5 or 6 years ago, a couple of the guys reported it as well, and they didn't want to report it because the people go, "Oh, it's a ghost" and everything like that. But they were just like, "Can you have, you know, funny smell of lavender in there?" And everybody who's kind of new was just look at them and just kind of go, "Yeah, we know." Just go.
Mhm.
That's
You
it.
do,
You
you
know,
do
I
get
mean, I
that.
personally never experienced it. You know,
I've got the
I
pub.
personally never
That's why I'm
experienced
leaning
it,
there.
but we
I've got the
still
pub
had
here.
it.
Well,
I
Laura's
basically
quite painted stare.
never experienced
We
it. Yeah.
we did stare. One of the times we did stare with Sarah and Laura and myself, and there was she's just at the back of we go around the back of the church, and with the plaques around the wall. We were standing there, and there was a strong, strong smell of paint. Now, there was nobody in the church. There was no workmen in the church. The church was all locked up. There was no fresh paint on any of the windows or walls, whatever. There was no fresh paint anywhere. But we could. There was a strong, strong smell of paint. And you know yourself, stairs in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So there's no if it came from a nearby factory or anything like that. But we could not explain it. It just. And we all, I was going to say we all felt it. We all smelled it at the same time, and there was no physical reason for that we could find. Well, I'm going to stick in the cut about the can of lemonade. I think some of the lemonade disappeared. One time we did the vaults and she had a can sitting on the table, and I think some of it disappeared, and then we got an EVP saying that was nice or something. I think
that was weird.
But I mean, look at Loudon, for instance, when we did Loudon with yourself, Rigga, you know, and I get the smell of perfume out of the crypt, and then when I came out and stood beside the rest of these, I get the smell again, and none of you could smell it, but I could smell it. And then when we spoke to friends at Loudon Cup when we were organising the wedding, I mentioned it to Agnes, the woman that sort of runs it. I think her name's Agnes. And she says there was two other accounts of people smelling perfume at that spot at the crypt. And nobody could explain it.
There's definitely smells when you investigate as well. You know what I mean? We tend not, if we go to investigate, we tend not to wear like deodorant and all that sort of stuff, just to kind of take that away.
I've noticed.
Cheers, mate. 'Cause you know yourself, you could spray deodorant on yourself 2 hours before you go investigate, and you think, oh, it's no, but there's always still that wee slight smell of deodorant in a boot or perfume or aftershave or things like that. So we try and no do that. So it's a bit of 3 hour shower before that, you know. Any shower gel and all that.
I mean, in fact, it was the night Paranormal penny pinchers was raised as well.
Perfume.
That's when I got to put they were there. But it's things like this. I mean, if folk can debunk it, fair enough.
No.
But when you can't debunk something, you've got to sit back and, you know, you don't just jump on the wagon straight away and say, well, that's paranormal. But you need to think, right, what was it?
In our exclusive location, you'll know yourself, you go down the main stairwell and every so often you'll get a strong smell of perfume. And then what comes after that smells like fresh flowers. And it'll maybe last, it might not be there during investigation at all, it might appear the last 10 minutes or the time changes on it, but usually you'll get a smell right at that area and then it's away before you know. And it, as you said, it's interesting, it makes it more exciting and more possible paranormal when everybody senses it. You know, when they all smell it.
Like the wee lass's voice at that location that night we were on there.
Like that as well, because if you smell it yourself or hear something yourself, then you kind of start questioning yourself. But even if there's that one person that hears it or responds to the smell or whatever at the same time, then you know that you're not going crazy. Basically.
So I mean, there must have, I don't know, about 10 years or something that night, and we all heard that wee lass's voice.
Yep. And the thing is, we all looked in the same direction as well.
I was telling Mo and Kat last night, and I told Mark Erickson last week that everybody stopped at the same time and everybody turned around. Usually everybody looked the same way, because we know everybody knew where the voice it came from. We were expecting to see, but there was nobody there. But as you say, if one person hears it, you know, I've heard things in investigations. And I've saw things like that wee lassie Loudon that I'm still kind of 50-50 about. But when you hear things, you think, well, did I hear it? Maybe I didn't, and you just keep it to yourself.
Aye.
But it could very well have been something.
Yeah.
But because nobody else has responded to it, you think, well, maybe it's just me. But when you get stuff like that wee lassie saying hello or hiya, I think it was a low. They think, right, no, there's definitely something, someone. I hate it when folks say, when you get investigations and folks say there's something in that corner.
Aye.
You know, or there's something in that corner. There's someone there. You know, there's no, because you pass away, you don't turn into a thing. You're still a person, so... I know a lot of folk do it. I've probably done it myself way back in the day. You know how it is. As you're both aware, Craig Rigga passed away. I mean, you guys were at Loudon a few weeks ago. I swear I heard the name Gary came through. Then F off.
I heard it. That was what quite sort of like interesting. I'd never experienced that before. Never experienced somebody connected to me, maybe coming through, or just somebody maybe saying the name. Not sure if it was connection, but I've never had that before. I mean, I knew straight away what it was. I knew straight away what it meant. Was it arbitrary? I don't know, but it seriously was. And it didn't sound like Gary. It didn't sound like him saying it. It was like somebody else kind of saying, "Oh, your brother's something like here, you know, your brother's here," and just kind of introducing. But it was just it was really kind of like weird, and that's seriously, you know, I think I said to you, Tim said to you, Scott, I mean, I've got to go for a wee walk. I'm doing the perimeter.
Aye.
Because it was like, that was the first time that I'd really kind of, I just thought, so I just kind of had to kind of take myself away out of the situation and kind of just, sort my brain out, go and do the perimeter and kind of like get back in, because I didn't want to become emotional during an investigation. I didn't want to kind of like let my emotions infect, for want of a right word, the investigations. And so I had to
But
just
see, that's the thing.
take it away. But
You
that was
weren't
excellent.
expecting it.
Yeah.
You weren't expecting that to happen. You weren't expecting it to come through.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had it happen with Donna, my daughter that I lost, and she came through a few years later. Same with my dad, he came through a few years after I went to spiritual church. And some people will say, I wonder why spirit takes so long to come through. And so then you need to think, well, again, getting back to the time thing, it might be, when I get the message from my dad and Donna, my dad maybe been away maybe 3-4 years. So about 3-4 years to me. Donna was about 6 years. And so 6 years to me. But to them, it might just have been instant.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Or, again, I spoke to Mark Eggston about this, and he says spirit will come through when they're ready to come through.
Yeah.
So like say Gary, he might not have been ready up until that, and then thought to himself, right, I'm ready to show myself, whatever you want to call it. Same as, no doubt it's happened to you and Rigga. You've had somebody maybe come through that
Yeah.
I think as well, like, see if you're quite a strong character or carry a strong energy in the living, you know what I mean? I think it might be easier for you to come through sooner. You know what I mean? Rather than somebody that's maybe kind of shy and likes to just tuck away from people and doesn't like confrontation or anything like that, and they've just maybe not got a big personality or the strengths of it other folk have. I think it's possible it might just take them a wee bit longer to realise I can communicate, rather than somebody that's like right out there, like get a big personality and 100 mile an hour or whatever. But I think it might possibly be easier for them to come through quicker than what it would.
Yeah.
Just a
And
thought.
kind of the fact that, Daddy had never sort of like even been to Loudon, heard of Loudon, I don't even think, apart from me talking maybe about it. I mean, it's just that I would have, expected it if I was, up at Kelly Cemetery, or even round at Rugby Park, Kilmarnock FC, where he frequently frequented. Basically, but to be in the middle of a place that he had no connection with, did not know, and all of a sudden he's coming through and talking to me, or somebody sort of like is saying he's here, then that was the biggest kind of like shock of all. And it's the fact that, does that bring up the question of just like, do ghosts know exactly where they are? Or do sort of like they just, if you're connected to a ghost or something like that, and if you're calling out to them, do they just appear when you're calling out to them, no matter whether or not they're connected to that place or not? If you get what I mean, because Daddy was not connected to that place.
Basically, the same goes for me.
It came through.
With Donna at Stair.
Yeah.
You were there, Laura was there as well that day. That day we picked up on Donna when I asked about the toy and what toy I used to put in your bed. We now get into and see what colour was it, and we go back twice, clear as a bell, green. Now every investigation we've done, we've always felt there's been a wee girl following us around. Some might be stupid, but there's always been a wee girl somewhere in the in the background. But we felt it at Edinburgh Vaults as well, Alloway Kirk, and it was until we went to Stair and Lassie were suggesting it might be Donna that I said, well, I'm going to ask. So it might be that Gary has been with you all this time, and the location's irrelevant. Where he could have been, Loudon Kirk, or you could have been you know, in the bath, wherever. It's the fact that
Maybe it's just like, maybe that's
following you everywhere.
yeah.
Same as Donna.
Maybe there's a little bell up in heaven.
And
maybe there's a wee bell up in heaven and you're
hello.
trying to do that. Yeah. Like
Maybe
I said,
you just
maybe
know.
there's a wee bell in heaven. We're talking. Sorry, Trot.
No, it's fine. You know, do you know what I mean, Rigga? I know that he's always been there following them about. You know, watching. I mean, exactly that message which I tell you before for an ex-girlfriend with Alison, and the medium says she wants, you know, she's watching over you. And I've lost Alison, I don't know, a good 10 year, 12 year prior to going to that spiritualist church. So who's to say that she hadn't been following me about all those years? All right, to her it's no year, it is. And the same with Gary, Donna, and no doubt Rigga, you probably lost somebody that they're still following you about, keeping a wee eye on you until they're ready to turn and say, right, I'm here. You know, my grandma came through, but my other grand, she's never ever came through. You know, you think, well, if they're all together, why is one grand came through and the other one's no? Maybe she's not ready. Maybe she is, you know, maybe she's not able to. Does that make sense?
It does, but again, it's just something we'll never know. That's like folk believe as well. Like when you pass away, they say you've got to learn again. You know what I mean? You've got to kind of no earn your badges as such, but you've got to learn certain things and then get permission and all that. Again, that's something. That's just something. I can't. We things like that. I'm not good with things like that because I don't. It's so hard for me to try and figure out what if there is a time, what if there isn't a time, what if you're able to come through and communicate quite quick, and it's just something that's always boggled my brain. I've not got a direct answer to that.
I think it is possible that you do need to learn. I mean, it might sound totally stupid, but to say it's not true. You know, you pass away. When my time comes and I pass away and I'm met with my dad, for instance, you know, and he'll say, right, son, you're no longer in the physical, you're passed over, you're here now, and there's sometimes you need to adjust, and I'll show you how to adjust to being in spirit, basically. You know, you're no longer got a body and stuff like that. I know it might sound a load of crap, but who's to say that's not the case?
I always remember somebody says to me, right, it's somebody that doesn't believe in it, and it actually got me thinking, right. But I'm a believer anyway. But it got me thinking. They says to me, "Can you remember your life before you were born?" And I was like, "No." He said, "How are you going to remember it when you die?"
Because you've lived it.
Maybe you've lived it before it, but there's just that blackness before you're born. There's nothing there, and it kind of got my brain. It got my brain going. I'm like, that's quite a good point, but I'm 100% a believer. So obviously, I believe that there is. It's not necessarily say when everybody passes away, they're able to communicate. There might be such a thing as it's just darkness. That's it. It's just with certain folk or bacteria, people maybe with energy or whatever, maybe something that's happened in their life, or if they were nasty or whatever, the other people that might not be able to communicate. It's just darkness, but it's like before you're born. Again, but I believe it. Obviously, we've captured amazing stuff and had some good communication. Like I'm a believer. I'm also skeptic with just other. And I need to watch my words. Just what am I looking for? Just with other evidence and things like that. You know, I'm the first to kind of call it on it, but I'm a full blown believer because of the stuff I experienced. But then when he made that wee comment, I was like, that kind of got my brain thinking. I was like, is it like that?
But if you think about it, right, I know there's these fake mediums and all that out there, but I mean, like I say, when I get the message from my grandma for that medium, she told me, wee old woman, grey hair, tiny, right? But then she did this doing it her waist. She says she's doing this. She says you'll remember her by this. As I've told you before, my grandma with the apron. So that proves to me that my gran remembered her past life because she remembered the messing about with her apron used to drive us, me and my brother, nuts. And for her to use that so that I'd recognise her, it does show that she does remember. And you hear about people being contacted by their dad, their mum, whoever, and they say, well, you know, your mum's here and she's saying, you know, you have to paint that room. So the spirit recognises their daughter. So they obviously must remember that she's my daughter, he was my husband, I used to live there, you know, you need to do that room. Look at these spirits, look at how many cases have we heard about houses that people move into, there's nothing, no activity, nothing, then they go to start decorating and they get activity starting. I'm talking about genuine cases.
Because it's been disturbed.
Because the house has been disturbed, because maybe it was an old man that lived there. I'm just using that as an example. And they're rearranging his house. And so he still remembers that house because it was his. And because they've papered a room or painted a room or something, he's not happy about it because that's not how I had it. So does that not prove that they remember?
No, what I mean is, I obviously, as I said, I believe when you pass away, there's obviously an other side, but it's not to say that it happens to everybody. You know what I mean? That might be how somebody might lose a loved one and they'll never hear from them. Although they might be full balls deep into paranormal, right? They might be right into paranormal and they live for the paranormal, and this person that's passed away knew this, but they've never communicated with them. Is that person, once they goes, it just blackness? Are they not fortunate enough to move on? You know what I mean?
I know, as I say, my grandma came through, my gran didn't, so I did ask you, well, so why is one came through?
Well, it could be that. It could be you're fortunate to move on to that. Some might not be. Some might be how you pass away, or if you were murdered or whatever. I don't know. You know what I mean? It might just be certain circumstances, or just certain people in themselves just don't have that opportunity to move on to the other side, and then it's just like before you're born, just there's nothing.
So they're in, I don't know what you call it again, limbo.
Because one of my best mates passed away 5 years ago with a heroin overdose, and he was a brilliant guy, and he'd always slag me for it. But he'd sometimes come in to investigate and stuff because you knew that was right into it and how passionate I was and stuff. But I've tried to communicate with him, just myself, and there's been nothing. And is that due to because he died with drugs? He's just not had that opportunity to move on to the other side.
Or is it a case that, you know, see that the guy, your pal, he's, you know, he passed over with drugs about it, and he's, you know, he's kind of frame of mind now, well, you know, I passed over, that life's all behind me, I don't want to talk to anybody, I'm happy where I am, I don't want to start communicating with.
No,
because to them, we'd be the other side, would we? No.
But see, if you were to base that on his character, he wouldn't do that because he was always dead, happy-go-lucky. He was at the stage where I tried to tell him to shut up. I bet myself. Tried to tell him to shut up, and he was just 100 mile an hour. Always wanted to do stuff. Had his own roofing business. Had everything. A good life. Fell down the drug road, and he'd have done anything for anybody. And with his character, he wouldn't have done that. If he was able to move over, and he knew how interested I. Although he used to slag me, but he would come out and he would try and put a bit of love into it and stuff like that, just for my sake, things like that. And sometimes he would enjoy it if he got some stuff. But if he'd moved on, then he would have came.
Recognised it.
No, because it's not really been touching this. It's just been like kind of more in depth, personal, kind of just me, just talking the way we used to talk. Just try to get something back, maybe through recorder or whatever. Just things like that for us. Left it, the usual, ran an EVP, and then just left it for a couple of minutes for it to come through. There's been nothing. But is it the case because is it because he's been doing that road? Because you get funded at the Burger King in Irvine. There's an embankment there, and that's where his body got found. Just took an overdose while walking. Just that was it. But to go for somebody who had a right good life to that, and he's never came through, and is it the case that because he's went down that road, the drug road and stuff, he's just not had that opportunity to? Because he got to the stage he was stealing off his parents, not to fund his habit, obviously. Is it because of that he's not been able to move crossover?
So it's a bit, I've known a couple of folk in my time, one drunk, alcohol and all, and one of my ex-brother-in-laws, he worked and all the rest of it, and he turned to alcohol, and and then he was told, if you don't stop drinking, then you'll be here in 3 or 4 months, and he stopped for about a week, and then he started again, and within a couple of weeks he ended up in Southern, and that was a couple of days, and he was gone, basically. So it's no a great road to get down, but
But knowing his character, he would have, if he was able to come through, he 100% would have. He'd have said something stupid. I'd have captured him saying something stupid or doing something stupid or whatever. He would have. So that tells me that it's possible that he's not been able to move on.
But there's still time.
I know there's still time, but again, it's one of the ones we're never going to. You could sit here all night talking about it, moving on and being able to rest in time, and we will never, not a living person will ever understand until it's your time.
Exactly.
We've all got our own beliefs, obviously, but we would never. We wouldn't, like, even just us three alone, we'll never understand what it's like until it's your time. And we're just a very, very, very small portion of focus interest in the paranormal. So it's just one of them.
I mean, there's one thing I've heard, I've tried to work out, but I can't. I'll come out to Laura's comment, but it's not to say that it's not the people you recognise, but it's the energy. Like my cousin's a heroin addict, holds down a job, gets her wee girl. Get her wee girl. People's choices in life don't make them bad. Maybe you're looking at this wrong, and he has. Like my cousin's a heroin addict, holds down a job, gets her wee girl. People's choices in life don't make them bad. Maybe you're looking at this wrong, and he has lessons to learn, and he needs to forgive himself first before he addresses anyone else. I kind of get what Laura's talking about, because there's,
I get it.
I've heard people before that, they say, why is this person not went into the light? Kind of thing, They know everybody believes in the light. Some folk do, some folk don't. But one theory that I get told was, well, maybe they're because they weren't a bad person in this life, in the physical life, but they maybe made choices and they're scared to go into the light because they don't know what's on the other side, But I kind of get what Laura's been. I'm not that intelligent. Do you know?
Yes.
You think, Rigga?
Well, it's possible. It might be that it needs to, because his mum and dad passed away now as well, so it might be that he needs to make amends with them first, and he might need some sort of permission to come through, or I don't know. I know I'm a paranormal investigator and stuff like that.
Waiting for them.
Folk think because you're an investigator you should know this stuff, but I don't, because it's a thing that we'll never understand. It's possible. It is possible, but again, I think next time when we meet up to investigate, we'll write down some questions today with time and things that we're discussing. We'll ask the questions to see what we get. You know what I mean?
That's a good idea. Laura said, you really need to talk to her. She's there. But
I'm all right, Laura.
But I know people think because we're investigators, we know everything. And we really don't bugger all.
That's it. We don't. We just go out to.
We know as much as them.
That's it. We know as much as what skeptics know. You can get it that way.
We know.
Although
everybody
skeptics don't believe in it, but they would just be like, right, well, when you pass away, there's nothing. You know what I mean? Is there? Are they right? And we're wrong?
Yeah.
I mean,
How
I've
do
been
they know?
asking people before, so what happens when you die? You know, you're into paranormal. What? I said, well, I don't know.
Don't know.
How do you not know? Because you're a paranormal investigator. I said, because I can sit here and tell you, oh, you see a bright light and a big tunnel and you got the big stairs and there's a spooky bitch waiting at the top of the stairs and stuff like that, you know. And you see that wee reference to still game that.
Oh, that was nice.
I said, I can tell you all that kind of stuff, but I don't know.
I mean, I think that basically what these, I think what these people are expecting is that we've had experiences where sort of like ghosts have turned around and said to us, look, right, this is exactly what's happened. You know, you basically you die, you float up, there's a big pearly gate, there's a huge big sort of like thing, they're taking it right through the whole thing.
Aye.
You know, when that's not exactly what we're getting. We're getting bits and bobs, we're getting little bits of life, we're getting names. It's like a mixtape, you know, of experiences, kind of like jumbled.
Aye,
And
we're not getting
people,
that.
it's very rare, you know it yourself. It's very rare when even a sort of like sentence comes through, a full sentence comes through, and these people are just kind of expecting, oh, it's just like having a conversation. It's not. You're attempting to make sense of these messages that are coming through.
I did ask once, what's it like when you pass away? And I got a strong, relaxed, and then I get heaven. And that was through the spirit box. So again, but that goes to what you're saying, Craig. You're just getting words. You're not getting like, oh, when you pass away, it's you see yourself leaving the body and you're away up into the clouds and all that stuff, sitting on the clouds eating Philadelphia cheese. You know what I mean? You don't get full detail yet.
But see, there's two things.
You don't get the full kind of like forward, you know.
You know, there's two things there. One is, it'd be great to sit down with a spirit and, you know, for them to say, well, this happens when you pass away, blah, blah, blah. But then there's a bad side to it because, you know, in the physical life, everybody has a different experience. So maybe it's the same for us when we pass over. You might talk to one spirit that says, oh, well, there was angels and clouds, and you talk to another spirit who might say, well, no, I died and I was still standing in the room with my family. You know, I was still kicking it. So there could be 1,001 different scenarios for spirit. So it'd be great to have that conversation. I don't know if it's ever going to be possible to today. And then the whole idea of heaven and stuff like that, you think, well, we're brought up believing there's a heaven and hell. No, I mean, but you know, you die here and you go somewhere. You know, a lot of people call it heaven. So if you get a spirit that says, "Oh, heaven," it might not be like mountains and trees and lakes and stuff. It could just be, I don't know, something. But they term that as heaven. Heaven and hell are not as we think, not what we are taught. It's realms that we can pick, as per discussed, Scott. I don't remember having that conversation.
It just says, aye. Well, I don't know if you know what DMT is, right? So DMT is a psychedelic drug, right? It lasts something like 10 minutes when you take it. And then, but every living animal, human, we've all got DMT in our system. So scientists believe when you pass away, that's when the DMT releases. It's a comfort thing. So when you're passing away, that DMT releases, and then that's when you start seeing things. So it is possible that everybody sees something different because it's the DMT that's making you see this, and that's scientifically proven. It's a DMT. We've all got DMT in us, and then I've watched folk, and I'm like, what? So I watched folk taking this DMT stuff, and they're 10 minutes at last or whatever, and they come out and explain what they see, and they see like golden archways and all this. Some will maybe see what was it, like hunters of bullfrogs, just different experiences. But scientists believe, like really believe, that when you pass away, the DMT, or when you're on the verge of just passing away, that's when the DMT releases. That's how you get folk that can maybe. Well, I seen a video of a guy that passed away a couple of days ago, but whoever was recording, he was talking to this kid that wasn't there. But he was having this full blown conversation with this kid, saying, "Oh, your hair looks pretty" and things like that. And it's a high chance that that's a DMT that's getting released in his system through his blood and stuff like that. That's making him see this.
So it's the same kind of idea with the tunnel and the bright light at the end of the tunnel, Bobby.
Well, it's not to say that's a DMT doing that. You might actually see that, but when you're passing away DMT and we've got it in our system, it releases. It's a comfort mechanism, and it lets you, obviously everything gets all bright, and you might see a loved one or whatever that's coming forward, and it's the case that you actually see them as a DMT, but you'll not be registering that though. You'll just be in this comfort zone, just ready to just kind of pass away. It was on for about 3 hours. It was interesting. It was a long watch, but it was quite interesting.
Were you engrossed?
I was engrossed in it because I'm sitting thinking, right, well, I'm sitting thinking, is there such a thing as a white light and stuff like as you just said, or is it the DMTs? But surely when that DMT phase passes and you are able to move on to the other side, then you must be able to visualise stuff. Without the DMT.
Possibly.
But again, it's mental. It's just, you could go on all night about it.
You could sit here for 24 hours yakking away.
What's that film where it's like the figure of eight, is it Kevin Bacon? The figure of eight, like, make him pass away and then he goes into
Flatliners.
That's the only way you'd find it. It's the only way you would find it.
Flatliners.
Scott will test it on you.
I remember now, Laura, about the thingy, the conversation. You can go to certain realms, but they can't interact with each other. I was going to say something there and I've totally forgotten what it was. It's but no, it's. I mean, folks say, "Well, what's your beliefs?"
Mm-hmm.
You know, what do you believe? Do you believe in heaven and hell? I believe that there is some kind of power that governs everything. Basically, you know, some people call it God. I mean, different names for it. I believe there is kind of something, and there is a place where we can go if we choose to go into the, you know, if there is a light, if we choose to go into that light, that we can come back and visit, you know, whenever we want, basically. We have put that comment up here, what about these people with Alzheimer's dementia? How does the data for their people with these conditions speak, hope with others we cannot see? Who's to say that although the brain is dying, they remember people from years ago that's no DMT. Well, I suppose it's similar to a person's near the end. You know, it happened to my dad. You know, he could see his mum in the corner. He kept saying, you know, "Mum, I'm here." And you know, my mum's here. She's standing in the corner, stuff like that. But was my gran there to take him? Because always say somebody comes to meet us.
Yeah.
You know, so was my gran that was there waiting on him, you know, to take him to we're at the next level, whatever you want to call it. Or was it just hallucination? Because he was on a lot of drugs, you know, cancer and what have you.
But see with the DMT, right? The DMT kicks in, right? And then you get a comfort, right? So what comes after the DMT will finally run out for your system, but you're basically you're still alive, and then you've got that comfort zone's been there, and it's you getting prepared for whoever's coming to visit you and say like, come with me or a loved one or whatever and stuff like, you've already experienced the DMT. That's just a comfort thing. It's a thing that happens. It doesn't matter if it's a dog or whatever. It's just something that we've got in our system that gets released, and it's a comfort thing. And it only gets released when you're due to pass away. And then once that phase has been, whether that's been and then you've passed, or whether that's been but you're still here but you're due to pass, that you always get that DMT phase. Whether that's you're lying there and you're hallucinating, and go back to that video of the guy speaking to the wee lassie, that could be him getting through that DMT stage, or he's already went through that stage, the DMT, and this is what's bringing this wee lassie forward. But that's what happens. You've got DMT. We can't hallucinate with it. You know, anything like that. You can't go like, oh, I'm going to tap my head 3 times and start hallucinating with DMT. It just gets released as you're coming to your end.
How do you explain that with no drugs, but they're holding a conversation with others who have passed but go on to live X amount of years? Now, maybe I can answer that. Maybe. I don't know how do you explain with no drugs, they're holding a conversation with others who have passed but go on to it. Right, so basically what Laura's asking is that, you know, they may be ill, but they've not done any drugs, but they're still holding a conversation. My theory on that one, that might be totally wrong here, I don't know, I might be totally out the ballpark, is that, well, we were saying earlier on about spirit guides and stuff like that. I believe that in times that they don't interfere with our lives, you know, through free will and what have you, except when it's dire circumstances, you'll get a wee, I call it a nudge, you know. So who's to say, you know, Laura's saying there, when a person's maybe at death's door, you know, really, really ill, but, you know, that's when there's maybe the spirit guide, a relative, whoever, comes to see them, to maybe give them a wee boost, a wee bit of comfort, and then the person recovers.
Right, aye. I get that. Right, aye. So I get what she's saying, but while they're on their deathbed, is it them that's actually seen the loved one, or is it the DMT that's making them see it? It's not a drug. You don't get given you don't get given DMT. It releases from your body. You know what I mean? Is it that's what's making you see your loved one come forward, and then you do go on to live, or is it you've had that stage of the DMT because you're that close to death, and then your loved one comes? Does that help them come through? But DMT is a big part to play in it.
I don't know. I think Laura might be me. I was saying about my dad seeing my gran. Right. With drugs as well. I know she's maybe referring to that, but I think maybe if you're really, really ill in hospital, and maybe the doctors have gave up hope, and somebody comes to give you a wee kind of kickstart, for want of a better word, and then you go into live years and years, you know.
I always remember going to visit my brother-in-law, well, my ex-brother-in-law, and he had a really, really bad stroke, years ago, and he was in a coma, and he passed away. We were all there. He passed, flatline. We were there. And then, don't quote me on how long it was, 2 or 3 minutes or whatever, he came back, right, which was that. Everybody's greeting and all this stuff with shock and all, can he be it, right? So, but see, as the time went on, weeks and months, he remembered. And his because again, he knew I was into paranormal. He explained to me in detail what actually happened. He said he remembers coming out in the bed, and he could tell me everybody that was standing there. And he said, "I remember your dad having a gold watch on," and he did, because he kept looking at the time. He remembers that. He could tell us who was standing there and this and that. And one of my sisters wasn't there. I can't remember who it was, but he could tell me that she wasn't there. He experienced that.
I've read about cases where my father-in-law did this. I was his care. He was no drugs. He was happy, so but he did have conversations with his brother Willie. To him, this was real. I was in the room. Again, who's to say that his brother wasn't actually there? I mean,
it's that really kind of like could have been the drugs he was taking. It could have been anything. We don't really kind of like know. You know, we don't know if it was spirit. It could have been the side effects from the drugs he was taking for his dementia and everything. And it's, but he used to see, used to have a lot of hallucinations. Basically, spiders coming out of the kitchen and so things like that. And there used to be a tall man kind of standing in the corner, which wasn't me, you know, shockingly. But it was kind of like there used to be a tall shadow man that was kind of like, you know, standing around and everything. But he did sort of like used to experience these kind of like these visions, and he used to say he was talking to Willie, to my uncle, and everything, and he just kind of, you know, it was just kind of natural to him. It's just like almost, he would be bewildered. It was just like, you don't see that. You know, it's just like, no, we don't see that. It's just like, really? And like,
But he
and
could
then
see
every
him.
once in a while, we can't, you know, he could see them. And he was just like, he would, every once in a while, he would nudge me. He would just go, Craig, can you see that? Can you see that? It was sort of like, see what? It's like, there's a couple of spiders just underneath the, you know, just on the floor, there's spiders coming out. And it was just like, no, I can't see them. And like, he's perfectly convinced that I always took that down to just being a side effect of what he was taking, you know, onto it. And
You
it's,
see him
you know, I'm
seeing
not saying it was, but it could have been, you know.
him seeing, you know, uh, the brother, and you not being able to see him. It could be the
Yeah.
same, but no matter the reality, he could see him, and a lot of what he saw brought him comfort. And that, no, that's a good thing, you know. If he could see him
Yeah.
and talk to him, and it made him happy, brought him comfort, that is a good thing.
Yeah.
It's the same along the lines as sometimes we hear spirit. Like it happened at Dunmore House. Laura was in, we were there with Forth Valley, and it's happened at Caldwell to me. I've heard Dunmore House, I heard a woman laughing. The Laura
Yeah.
and Chris, what was her name? Scott and Tommy. They never heard. Laura was in
Yeah.
a wee room having a wander about, and but this came from behind me, and I spun round. But I says to Tommy and Scott, did you know? No, we never. I says, you didn't hear a woman laughing.
Mm-hmm.
They never heard it. And the same happened at Caldwell when we had another team in there. In one of the rooms in the basement, I heard a woman saying, you know, why? Quite loud, quite clear.
Yeah.
I heard it turn around, and I says to the team that was there, I said, neither of you hear that? And they could. Again, with the smell thing, you know, I could smell the perfume, you guys couldn't. So who's to say that, you know, if spirit can let you smell something or hear something, then they can let you see them as well.
Yeah.
Do you think on that note, Scott, see how because it was just you,
Collective.
see how just because it was you that smelt it that night and then you heard what you heard? Do you think that's maybe just
I know what he's going to say.
a connection to you
Yeah.
rather than whoever was there? If it's only you can smell it or you can hear it, is it possible that it's just a connection to yourself?
That is possible, but it's just, you know, the woman laughing at Dunmore House. Well, I'd never heard a woman laughing, but nobody else did. You think, how's it just me that's heard it? And again, the smell of perfume. So, I mean, I think spirit, if they've learned enough, you know, because they say the older the spirit, the wiser they are and stuff like that, the longer. There is a theory, the longer you've been over the other side, the better you are at it. Like the film Ghost. Mind the film Ghost? With Patrick Swayze, God rest him. A lot of people compare it to that. You know, if you're over longer, you learn to do stuff. You know, make yourself appear, make a can move or whatever the hell. So who's to say it's actually who's to say the film Ghost wasn't actually nearer the mark than people think?
I know. It could be.
Yeah.
See, 10 years down the line, there's probably going to be other debates about this. it might make sense. It's just like, as you say, ghost could be as close to them as any of us think. We don't know.
Yeah. Who's to say that it's not just as simple as that? That somebody, Patrick Swayze, he's the guy in the underground, the train station, whatever.
Aye.
He's teaching him how to flick a can.
Aye.
And how to do other bits and pieces. Well, who's to say it's not like that?
Well, I'm a strong believer. I think I've brought this up before a good few times. I believe, see what us doing what we're doing, we're going to communicate, like usually get a connection with Loudon and stuff like that. And you usually like to go there. You know what I mean? I believe I believe the more you go, the more you help the spirits understand. They're able to move things. Or they are able to talk audio wise, get some audio or whatever. You know what I mean? You're helping them. Going like just simple things like, can you move? Can you touch the ball? And then they're like, we've touched it umpteen times when you've came. How was it about to try and push it this time?
Aye, so do you think it gives them, it's your location as well with Edward and what have you, and Loudon and stuff, do you think it gives them a sense of comfort as well?
Yep.
If the same, I know other teams go in to, individuals, shall we say, going to Loudon recently, they're just cabbages, basically. But when you get genuine people like ourselves and yourselves, do you think that gives them kind of comfort? Well, they keep coming back to see us. They must like us. So
I think a big part of it as well, and I've always stood by this. It's how you present yourself as well. Like you'll get folk that go in paranormal investigating and straight away they're, I'm feeling this. I'm feeling this negative thing. When there's probably not even a negative spirit. I'm not referring to Loudon or anything like that, but just in general, a location where there's no any negativity there. Now, if you're a spirit and you're like, there's people here to communicate with me. Wait a minute, they're saying that I'm a bad person and stuff. I've never been a bad person. I've never even splatted a spider. You know what I mean? But where proper folk go in and their mannerisms and things like that, and they try and find out before asking any questions. That's how we like to run the recordings first to see if we're getting maybe possible things coming through, or the necro, and then we work with that. Because you'll get folk that go in and go and do this and do that, and these spirits don't. These people won't like it. These people are trying so hard to communicate, and then you get folk going in and just disturbing it.
Aye, that annoys me. Laura's saying, I'm so sorry, does Rigga know what he just said? My dirty mind, LOL. What did you say?
I don't know. Enlighten me, Laura.
I don't know. She's sitting there giggling away. It's just like uncontrollably for the last 5 minutes.
You were talking about United Loudon.
I don't know. Just how dirty.
Laura, you need to enlighten us here.
You need to let the cat in the bag, Laura.
But no, I think it's how you need to present yourself well. It's like anything else. You go for a job interview, you want to present yourself well. Things like that. You go out for a meal, a nice fancy meal, you want to present yourself well. It's the same as investigating. Aye, fine. Folks see you're about in a cold field or wherever, somewhere freezing in the rain and getting soaking wet, but you still need to present yourself.
You still need to.
I firmly believe, that if you go into an investigation with a bad attitude or a bad kind of like you've had a bad day or something like that, you're going to get, bad responses. They're going to recognize that and they're going to react to you the way that you're kind of talking to them and the way that you're feeling. Whereas if you're going in there with an open mind, a relaxed, hey, hi there. We just want to talk to you. They'll be a lot more receptive to that, than somebody that just goes on and just expects to hear about witches and things like that, or demons and stuff.
With that as well. You know yourself that you would have collaborated with some folk that you're not too keen on, but there's maybe a bad apple in that team or whatever. You're picking up on that negativity. So there's a high possibility spirits are going to pick up on that, and that can affect your activity.
something about touching them a
That's
lot
fair.
and then coming. You need to rewatch that. That was funny. I do apologise.
I don't know.
That's just her brain.
You've lost us with that one, dear.
That's just
Sorry.
her brain. Yeah,
But I mean,
I don't know.
that'd be annoying to Spirit. It's also annoying to us.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If it's annoying to us, it's surely it's going to be annoying to them.
I mean,
Well,
'cause
it'll
the
be
other
kind of
week-
like if spirits, you know, if somebody's saying, "Hey, spirit, there's going to be witches on there," I bet there are spirits on the other side going, "Just come and she wants witches. We'll give her witches, you know.
Mhm.
We'll give her demons. We'll give her like that." Just kind of, I believe they act up to that kind of expectation sometimes. You know, it's like Zach
Uh,
Bagans and Ghost Adventures going in and abusing
Zach
them.
Bagel.
Of course, they're going to
Zach
get abused
Bagel.
back. You know, yeah.
No, you're right.
Zach Bagel,
Yep.
which is
The other thing
Rigga's
is,
new nickname. Zach Bagel.
Fat
I
bagel.
mean, like I say, that individual who went to Loudon the other week, we know who we're talking about.
Right.
Yeah,
The way they were carrying on, we know Loudon, we know Mr. Dempster. There were no other spirits as well, but we've got Mr. Dempster. Now, as I was saying to Cat and Will last night, we've done enough investigating there that we've built up a picture of Mr. Dempster, and for the evidence that we've gathered, it kind of validates it that he likes to be respected. He likes his full name used. You know, he likes people to know that he was an important man in the physical life. And it's when you get people like that get in and acting like bollocks, basically, that annoys us as well. Because, and obviously, Cecilia and I get married there last year, so it's got an extra special meaning for us. It's to use as well, but, and that just tightens me off.
That's just a thing that we can't. It's unfortunate because it's a thing that we can't control. And the thing is years ago, there's more and more people that's doing it. I seen somebody today, I don't know who it is. Mad pretty boy guy, Scottish guy, he's out with his bird. They go to this house and he's getting it. Oh, there's spirits near, because anytime there's spirits near, I start getting really bad headaches. And I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? He's never spoke about anything to do with paranormal.
Oh, I've seen that.
Did you see that?
I remember the head because I switched it off after that.
Aye. And you're like, you've never mentioned anything about paranormal whatsoever.
It was Mr. M. No, Mr. M.
I don't know.
Former TV, Most Haunted, Christ, Haunted Hunts.
No, this guy's had nothing to do with paranormal, ever.
Oh, there was another one then, it was him. There was interviewing this guy, and the guy was sitting there saying about headaches.
No, it was just him and his missus walking to this house that apparently he stayed in, but it's boarded up now, and anytime there's spirits round, he gets headaches, and he's never ever spoke about it before. But basically what I'm getting to is there's more people like that that's starting to come into it. So locations like Loudon, other locations you might get good some activity, they'll eventually get out, and they'll just get ruined, like everything else. And there's nothing that we can do about it.
This individual, Laura Rigga, says you've touched 17 times and you've came. I just rewound it. I'm sorry, I'm going to get banned. Well, this is a family professional show. Well, maybe not professional, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
Well, there are stories that this individual was advertising and going to be doing ghost tours. This individual from down here.
Oh, right.
And
I know who you're talking about.
That's the case. Then we think the one place they're going to be doing is Loudon.
If that
is the case, then I'm going to get done because we'll do it live.
I think I'm on right.
Live.
I think I'm pretty positive I know who you're talking about.
And we're going to get down to Loudon and start doing ghost tours, and I'll be going out and shutting it down.
We'll just set booby traps. Or we'll just dress up with white sheets now.
That's a bit old-fashioned.
We'll
Craig, has your wife calmed down yet?
Yeah, she's got really something like she's calm. She's typing at the moment and sitting vaping. She has explained what it was about, and I'm still kind of like slightly none the wiser.
No,
That
I'm none the wiser
she's
at
been
that one
taking
either.
she's been taking gas and air, and it's just she's calmed down now. I think she's
Unfortunately,
read.
Scott, this is the realism of what it's like, and it's only going to get worse. That's what it is. And see, the thing is, I believe as well. See, the likes yourselves and you, legit folk, they go and do it because they're passionate about it, and they just want to see, get some information. We're going to eventually get pushed aside and totally forgot about.
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But then if that time ever comes, or if that time approaches, then just doing us to do something about it.
But the thing is, see by the time that comes, a lot of the legit teams that we know, I wouldn't be surprised if they start getting pushed aside as well and just start coming away for the paranormal and things like that. But it is what's going to happen. It will happen. Because
this individual
that individual will go there with a certain amount of people. You're going to charge money to go somewhere you don't need to pay for starters. Right? So if he's charging money, he's going to need some sort of liability insurance or business insurance for starters, which he'll not have. He'll do it for entertainment purposes. That's what will happen. That's what will happen, and that's how these people draw the crowds in, because these people that's never experienced an investigation would rather go to somebody like that are going to get maybe a bit of excitement rather than somebody like us where they're going to actually see a real investigation. Because you know yourself, some investigations go really quiet, and then you're trying to figure things today and different methods and all that sort of stuff. But when it comes to entertainment, they already know what they're going to do, and that's why we'll end up getting pushed aside.
But I know exactly what you mean. But if that, if this individual does and he does go there, then I mean, London doesn't belong to anybody. London's it's a public place, obviously. But I just feel that if you've got a place, if you've got a special bond with a place, and you see somebody getting in and just ripping it, basically, for the sake of money, then put your foot in and say, no, this isn't happening. And report wherever you report them to that group. I'm not going to say it on live, but report them to that group and say, look, this is what's going on down there. And we're no, it's no, we don't own it, sod all, but
what you could do is, in fact, I'll wait.
Are you wait after the? I've just realised I'm doing the half actually. I mean, wind it up actually. Laura calmed down as well.
I know, Laura. God's sake, man.
You know what I mean?
She's.
But I'm not going to rewatch it.
Can't take her anywhere.
I'm calm.
She says she's calm.
I don't watch any. I never rewatch any of your shows because they're crap. So what's up next for Spig? Where can people find Spig? The usual question. What's up next for you and where can people find
you? Will find us on Facebook and TikTok. What's coming up next? Well, I think we're going to be returning to that location that we got that photo from, which I can't explain, and I swear to God, still to this day, Lindsay will still tell me to shut up about it, and that was Saturday, and I'm still going on about it. She'll keep saying to me, shut up about it, and I'm like, well, listen, this is what we date for. This is it. This is what you want to get.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to be looking to go back there to that area. Just we're going to go with the equipment, apart from the recorder, the camera, Stephen's proper old school bloody cameras. You snap it and then it comes out.
Polaroid. Instamatic.
The Polaroid one.
Yeah.
You hit the button and the phone comes out the bottom.
Aye.
Yeah.
And you go that and you wave it
so
about.
We're just going to go down there. We're not even going to we'll maybe ask questions. We're not going to use any apps. We're not going to use any equipment. That we're going with the DR60, 2 cameras, set up a phone. That's it. So that's what we're going to do to see if we can replicate. Because I've got that photo time stamped as well, so it'll be good to see if we can get back to that bit at that time and get a good whack of photos in, full angles.
Good. We'll be keeping an E. I was
But
going to say EY.
That's what we'll be doing. We've got a couple of locations booked up as well. Got some in April and things like that. So we're just going to set up to go further afield than that. But when you come off this, I want to speak to you about my reinvention. I was thinking, let's hear your take on it. See if we can figure out how to get it going, and my wee idea as well.
Yeah. Your hat's so white. Is that dandruff on your hat? When you wear this up, white bits and
I'll just be like Bill Kerr or something. I don't.
You're needing a sticky roller.
I'm having to look. Get my hair. Look, it's getting all wild.
That's just nuts. You're going Gordon
That
Ramsay.
is bad.
These are just jealous. These are just jealous.
I'm not jealous. Why would I be jealous? This requires zero maintenance. You know what I mean? Right, folks, give Rigga a look up. So we're back on this. I'm looking at our diary here. I'm looking at a calendar. So Miami this Saturday and Sunday. Hold on. It's no. It is. This Saturday, Miami is interviewing her mum and dad. Sarah and moi.
That should be interesting.
And then on Sunday, Lord above, Miami is interviewing Laura. I'm back live on next Tuesday with Squad Ghouls. And then the next Miami's 3 shows within a week actually. Because she's got Charlie next Thursday as well, day before my birthday. Next Thursday, week Thursday. 10 more sleeps, no hints. So Charlie Rocks. Now we are going to be doing our paranormal stakeout, but we're keeping that quiet because there's hi baby girl. Because Laura came up with another wee idea to add on to it, so we're going to do it. We weren't meant to do it the other week, but the weather was crap. So we'll get that coming up, and we'll get a few lives lined up. Investigation wise, we want to get back out. Craig and I hopefully doing a cut walk this week. We were meant to do it last Wednesday, I think. For the heavens, was it Wednesday or Thursday, Craig? It was Wednesday or Thursday.
I think it was Thursday.
The heavens opened.
It poured.
But the rain came on and we don't know. So hopefully it's going to be this week. Not hello to Auntie Laura. Miami, say hello to your Auntie Laura. And that's it. We've got Paranormal Stakeout coming. March we'll be doing episode 5 there, Wallace Trail. We've got the Edinburgh one, documentary still today. We've got stuff in the pipeline, as you say, Rigga. It's just getting the weather to bloody day. Excuse the French. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'll keep a hold of these after we come off. So we're going to wrap up there. So give Spig a look up. Don't bother on up Craig, because he's with us. So, you can look up Craig if you want.
Well, you can look up me if you want. You know.
I'll look you up, Craig.
Right, enough.
Everybody looks up to me.
I'll look dinty if you know what I mean.
We've got a special show on the opposite about it today. We have a special show on it's a few weeks yet, 27th of March, where Cat and Will be taking us inside Edinburgh Manor in Iowa. Where Cat and Will they work their tour guides, but it was built in the 1850, and as I said in the post, it was home to many psychiatric patients down through the years, and many it's still home to many spirits. So we are getting an exclusive tour inside. So we're looking forward to that. But I'm going to wind up there, folks. You can hear Laura talk in the background. I don't have a clue what she's talking about.
Yeah.
And Craig wants
She's talking to your wife.
Oh, they're a surprise. Because
She's
they
chatting.
never speak.
She's chatting to your wife.
They never speak. They don't speak enough. Right, folks, we're out here. So, here I go look up and we'll see. We'll try and see you Saturday when she's interviewing Mum and Dad. So enjoy the rest of your week. Cheers and out. Bye. Bye.
Later.